Welcome back to the Reigning Fever channel. We have one confirmed major update once in a blue moon to look forward to come June, but what comes after that is still a bit of a mystery. Last year Fallout 76 finished pretty strong, with Nuka-World on tour and a first foray into the new game mode expeditions closing out 2022. But what can we expect this year? Will we even be getting a roadmap this time around? While those details remain up in the air for the moment, what we do have is an increasing amount of clues and data mines that do seem to be teasing something pretty big. The next expedition location. In today's video we're going through all the in-game clues, some new lore, and most recently a selection of datamine files which all seem to point to one location. New Jersey. Let's take a closer look. Starting with in-game clues, we begin our investigation with Vinny Costa. The Blue Ridge Caravan Company are understandably getting a bit of an overhaul, with Once in a Blue Moon, and Vinny has a lot more to say as the focus of the Costa business daily quests. These are essentially some small, non-repeatable side quests where the player needs to help keep the employees motivated. Vinny and his nephew Luca both can seem a bit like mobsters themselves, but the most relevant detail is found on Vinny's terminal. This has been updated for Once in a Blue Moon with several new entries, each discussing possible trade routes out of Appalachia. Opening up the survey reports, let's run through them. Starting with the eastern routes, the tunnel mentioned is most likely a reference to the Brotherhood of Steel questline Out of the Blue from Steel Dawn, which takes place in the Harper's Ferry train tunnel, and this one is seen as a no-go. Moving on to the southern routes, Vinny makes mention of the scenic routes in the national park south of Appalachia, at one time having the infrastructure needed to use them. Virginia has 22 national parks, including the Blue Ridge Parkway, and further south, North Carolina has even more. We speculated in a previous expedition video that the location of the Lantern, home to the cultist group The Enlightened, might be located here, with the tallest lighthouse in the US, the Cape Hatteras Lighthouse, perhaps being a possible location. But we do have confirmation that one member of The Enlightened did find themselves in Galax, Virginia, thanks to observations Tome 27, which is directly south of the edge of the Fallout 76 map. Perhaps the cultists might have something to do with the missing people Vinny mentions. They also appear to have something to do with the west routes. The clowns and their endless Halloween party blocked up the bridge, perhaps a reference to the Point Pleasant Bridge, which should be in the direction of Cincinnati, and a bit further south, Kentucky. Whatever the case, it is interesting that Vinny mentions that this was their old home base, which makes this final entry very interesting. And this is the one with the biggest clue so far. The northern routes then. Pretty much a no-go for Vinny, because too close to the pit is a lost cause, and anything further to the east, so that would be northeast, means dealing with the family, which he believes means he won't come out of a pricing negotiation alive. So the family, the Cosa Nostra or family or mafia, famously had crime families based out of New Jersey, and northeast of West Virginia and directly east of the pit is where we find it. I did think it was interesting that the family wasn't capitalized as well in this entry. But moving on, we aren't close to being done. The new cryptids are undoubtedly the stars of Once in a Blue Moon. The Ogwa and Blue Devil were both reputedly native to West Virginia, and their arrival was first teased on the Season 12 scoreboard. The majority of cryptids illustrated on here have appeared in-game, but not all of them, and one of the missing ones is the Jersey Devil. But a new selection of collectibles in Once in a Blue Moon are a set of collectible cards, and these also come in poster form, but every single one of these has appeared in Fallout 76. Even the Beast of Beckley in a somewhat forgettable questline, revealing it to be nothing more than a giant wolf. Well, almost all of them did, because the Jersey Devil also gets a poster, which is interesting because it's definitely the odd one out in this set, as the only illustrated cryptid from the scoreboard to appear like this that wasn't actually featured in game. So no Veggie Man, no Squonk, only the Jersey Devil. But time for the hard evidence now, and this is all thanks to data miner DSJ, because not only did the Jersey Devil get some posters, but it also has some unfinished textures in the files. There's not a whole lot to gauge in terms of the visual design from these, but there are a total of 4, with some additional textures for horns. 3 of these are titled Lesser Devil, and 1 Jersey Devil. So what does this mean? It could just be a case of the cryptid originally being slated for Once in a Blue Moon, and then being scrapped later on. Or it could be our first look at a new cryptid, native to the Pine Barrens of New Jersey. After looking through the dialogue for the upcoming Season 13 ally, Joey Bello, a stand-up comedian who is shaping up to be an amazing ally I think players will really like, he actually originally hails from New Jersey. But perhaps the most significant find so far, thanks to Mapex from the data mining Discord, are some new curve tables for what seem to be some new enemy types that currently don't exist. And these are called Civilian Competitors and Wiseguys. Wiseguy, of course, is a slang term for a made man in the Mafia, and coupled with everything else, it seems to be yet another hint to New Jersey. On first viewing, the curve tables do seem to suggest the Wiseguys will also be a new enemy type as well. But civilian competitor? Some kind of arena, or perhaps even a casino? Assuming this was based in Atlantic City. I'm pretty excited, honestly. Big fan of The Sopranos, so if we really are going to New Jersey, it can make for a really new experience. Something I'd be much more interested in compared to going back to the pit, for example. Of course, pretty much everything we've discussed and run through today are potential breadcrumbs. Nothing is confirmed yet. But to close out today's video, we have a first look at something else that I think will excite players. Again, forewarning, details are thin at this stage, but we have what appears to be a mech. Thanks to DSJ for this, but as you can see by the scale, this thing is pretty big, but what its function will be for now remains a mystery. It does seem like it could be a new enemy type, and does bear a passing resemblance to the security robots used by the supercomputer, the Calculator, from Fallout Tactics. The Calculator filled the role of one of the primary antagonists of Tactics, and utilised a wide variety of robots based out of Vault Zero. I doubt this mech would have a direct link to it, but imagine if this new robot might also be coming with a potential New Jersey expedition. Mechs, the Jersey Devil, Wiseguys. Try not to get my hopes up too much, but if we do get something like this come fall, then I think that could really close out the year in a big way. But what do you make of all of this? Granted, it's not a whole lot to go off, but let me know in the comments what you think. Is New Jersey a good destination for an expedition? I really think it could be. But with that, we reached the end of today's video. If you enjoyed this particular video, please consider subscribing to help the channel grow. We post a variety of Fallout 76 content, so turning on the bell icon is definitely the best way to stay up to date. We'll be posting more PTS videos covering any further changes, but you can also find videos about all the available rewards and data mines for Season 13, which is slated to release alongside the Once in a Blue Moon update. With that said though, I'm off. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.